For Anand Bakshi, it was very simple. He said, if my words, whatever I write, must match the characterization of the character, it should sound like it is coming from his and her mouth and her life. Otherwise, I have failed as a lyricist. Because if your words are going to be, see, if your character is from a urban background, how can the character sing Urdu songs and do heavy poetry and talk literature?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pashim Litcast, where we dive deep into the world of creativity and inspiration. I'm your host, Manish, and today we have a very special guest with us. Someone who embodies the legacy of Indian cinema in his own unique way. Joining us today is none other than Rakesh Kamla Anand Bakshi, a multifaceted personality and the son of legendary Hindi film lyricist Anand Bakshi Saab. Rakesh ji, आपके पिताजी and obviously कोई भी आई डोंट थिंक कि कोई भी पॉडकास्ट या कोई भी डिस्कशन उनके बगैर अगर आपसे हो रहा है उनके बगैर पूरा हो सकता है. So your father, Anand Bakshi Saab is a legendary figure in the world of Hindi cinema. And he was known for his iconic lyrics that have left an indelible mark on countless hearts. How has his legacy influenced your own creative journey?
So, people all the time tell me about they have this similar opinion. How has his legacy of songs impacted your life? Uh, so there are two thoughts. One I would say is a spiritual thought, and one is a material thought. In the material thought, it has brought great security of life. It has brought great comfort to our lives. You know, uh, because he legacy of work is so huge, and it is so popular. You know, so we are very very well off because of that. That is the material legacy, right? The spiritual, and of course the inspiration that goes, that people come and tell me, oh, that song made impacted my life, this song impacted my life, this song inspires me even today, this song I think of whenever I think of my father, think of when I every हर राखी में फूलों का तारों का ये तो बचता ही बचता है, इसके बगैर तो हमारी राखी पूरी नहीं होती. So many,
जी.
you know as far as legacy, there is one more legacy which we can leave to for our children, which I feel is the legacy, is the most important legacy of my father and my mother. In this, I would give credit to my mother also. Is that it's been almost 16 years, I think, 16, 17 years, my mother passed away. And about 21 years, I think, my father passed away. And if I think back now, I think, what is the legacy of these people? What is the legacy of my parents, of my father, my mother, and the teamwork together as parents? I think the legacy goes beyond the songs. It goes beyond the wealth. It goes beyond the respect that we receive in society. Even when we don't deserve it sometimes, we are respected to an extent we don't deserve. I feel the legacy is that 21 years after they have gone, even today, we two brothers and two sisters are still together. अगर हमारे ज़िंदगी में कोई भी तकलीफ होती है, whether it's a medical thing, whether it is a financial thing, whether it is okay, I want to know about something new that is happening in a particular aspect of life, the first person that we call is each other. तो द फैक्ट कि हम आज भी जुड़े हुए हैं, चारों साथ में हैं, और we were together, we are together in spite of so many years, we live in separate homes, and yet we are together. So I think that is also a very very big legacy which is given very little importance by society. you know we talk of legacy in terms of body of work, but what about the body of work the parents put together in bringing up, raising the children? उनको कैसे उन्होंने
जी.
साथ में रखा है, 20 साल
जी.
जाने के बाद भी वो साथ हैं. वो चारों में उतना ही प्यार है, उतना ही सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है.
Yeah, it's very
So
rare these days.
that I think is a legacy which is also should be spoken about. When people ask me to give an interview for my father, very often I tell them, you want to feature me, great. Why do you not feature my daughter, my sister? She also is a legacy of my father, and you will get amazing emotions from her daughter, because the daughter will always think differently from a man. from a son because they are different beings, na? That's why we are male and they are female because they're different. So her emotion will be completely different. If you feature her, they get completely different emotions for the same man. From a son, different emotions. As far as legacy goes, I think also what teachings they give you. Like for example, if you tell me, because it's a very short time, we have a very limited time on the show. You tell me, what is the most important lesson he taught you? I would say that it would be about, when I was when I was in college, I once left my breakfast. I didn't have my breakfast, and I left the egg. I didn't have the eggs. And my dad told me, "तुमने अंडा नहीं खाया. Why have you not eaten the eggs?" I said, "I'm not hungry." He said, "Why did you order it? Why did you ask him to make it for you if you're not hungry?" I said, "I don't know. I'm not feeling hungry now. I will not have it." He said, "Do you know what is the price of this egg?" I said, "No." I said, "Must be 50 paisa, 1 rupee, 2 rupees. Hoga kuch. I do not know." He's saying, "Beta, when you were small, no? When you were small and I was struggling for work, and we were living in one house, one room. In that room, we were sleeping also. In that room, we had the kitchen also. And that room was also a living room. कोई बाहर से आता तो हम उनको वहीं बिठाते थे और रात को हम वहीं सोते थे और उसी रूम में हम खाना भी पकाते थे. तुम्हारी माँ रात को खाना पकाती थी. चीज़ें जब तुम छोटे थे ना 4, तो तुम्हारी माँ मार्केट में जाके एक अंडा खरीद के आती थी. She used to go and buy one egg. She used to boil that one egg, and then she used to make 4 pieces of that one egg and give 1 piece each to you 4 siblings and not have that egg herself. That is the price of an egg your mother has
Price
paid.
of the egg. Wow.
And that is the price of an egg. Even if an egg becomes 100 rupees an egg, $50 an egg, for you, the price will never change. For you and your siblings, the price of that egg will be the price your mother gave and not had a single piece and gave you 4 pieces to have from that one egg. That is the price for you for egg lifelong. So don't waste food. तो आज के दिन इवन इफ एक दाना चावल का मेरे प्लेट से गिर जाता है ना, माँ कसम मैं उसको उठा के मुंह में डाल लेता हूँ. So I think that is also a very big legacy. Don't waste food. In India, we've got 80 crore people that the government feeds from our GST and our income tax. 80 crore people we feed. That's, I mean, that's the kind of poverty.
इसका एक दूसरा जो पर्सपेक्टिव जो हो सकता था, एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द लेगेसी एंड द राइट अपब्रिंगिंग, बिकॉज ये दी आनंद बख्शी बोल रहे हैं अपने बच्चे को, बिकॉज ही इज ऑलरेडी बिकम आनंद बख्शी बाय देन व्हेन यू आर वेस्टिंग दैट एग.
With 2 cars, 2 homes, 4 domestic helps, and still he's saying, don't waste food.
Exactly.
And there's one more very important learning. I remember once he asked me to do something and I didn't do it. He said, मैंने तुमको काम कहा था, you had asked you to do this job, you didn't do it, क्या हुआ? ऐसे मेरा मूड नहीं था, मैंने नहीं किया. इसे बेटा जिस दिन मेरा मूड नहीं होगा ना, किचन बंद हो जाएगा. जिस दिन मेरा मूड नहीं बनेगा ना, कि आज मेरा मूड नहीं है गाना लिखने का, ये तुम्हारा जो किचन चल रहा है ना, रोटियां पक रही हैं, घी में पराठे बनते हैं, ये सब बंद हो जाएगा. एंड ही टोल्ड मी समथिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इसे बेटा याद रखो, बम्बई शहर में खड़े होने के लिए दौड़ना पड़ता है. If you want to stand in one spot in Bombay or in Boston or in Kolkata or in Bangalore, शहरों में अगर तुम्हें खड़ा रहना ना, तुमको अगर औकात बनानी है अपने खड़े होने की इस शहर में, तो तुमको उसके लिए दौड़ना पड़ेगा. तुम दौड़ोगे तभी जाके तुम खड़े हो सकोगे इन शहरों में. So you see, that is very important not to forget your roots.
So on that note, मैं एक इंटरव्यू आपका देख रहा था, तो जो नगमे किस्से बातें यादें जो आपने अपने पिताजी की जो बायोग्राफी थी,
this book took me 19 years to write. 19 years.
So I'm coming to that.
I was writing it for 19 years because it took me 19 years to understand my father.
Yeah. So मैं एक्चुअली उसी पे आ रहा था. तो उस इंटरव्यू में जो मैं इंटरव्यू देख रहा था, वो इंटरव्यू बुक के बारे में नहीं था, लेकिन उस इंटरव्यू मुझे ऐसा लगा कि शायद आपको कहीं अपने से नाराजगी थी.
Yes, of course. I think
अपने से नाराजगी थी. जैसे आपने शुरुआत में अभी बोला यहाँ पे कि I failed. I mean, I don't use that word, I failed, but you use that word, I failed, whatever you wanted to do. वो नाराजगी क्या
अपने जो I said I didn't fail, I failed at a particular goal.
goal.
That's what my
Okay.
father taught me. कि तुम fail नहीं हुए. When I got divorced, my father said, "You have not failed. Your marriage has failed. Look at the
Your marriage
difference.
has failed. Yeah.
Your marriage has failed. That relationship has failed. You have not failed." So
ये
that
वो
powered
पर्सपेक्टिव
me.
भी देने वाला होना चाहिए, राइट? वो
हाँ,
पर्सपेक्टिव भी देने वाला होना चाहिए.
that's why it's very important to
And
live with parents and grandparents. Very
absolutely,
important to live
absolutely. I
with
mean,
grandparents and parents.
जी.
So yeah, you were
Um,
saying about the book, right? So
yeah.
one of the
तो
reasons was also that I was not a very good son. I was very moody and I was very frustrated with my own incapabilities and my divorce and this and that. So I was not able to give my parents the best that I could. I was a good son, but I was not a great son, and I felt that because they were great parents, why was I not a great son? I was just a good son, but they were not good parents. No, they were great parents. तो मेरे को ये हमेशा ये जो कमी थी मेरे में कि यार मैंने अपनी I could have understood my mother much better. I could have that day my mother told me she wants to do something. I told her no, we'll go some other day. Why did I not go that day? What was so important that I didn't go? I could have taken my mother that day. I could have put my own things aside. I didn't do it. So I always felt after the leave, and we all feel this. You will also feel this. Even your kids are going to feel this one day. कि यार I could have done this for dad. I could have done this for papa. मैंने क्यों नहीं किया? So these conversations are very important because they help you. They remind you that let's do it now. Yeah, let's do it today. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's not wait for day after. So it was, and also the another thing about the book was मैंने बोला यार मैं तो फिल्म जर्नलिस्ट नहीं हूँ ना तो मैं आनंद बख्शी का फैन हूँ मैं तो बेटा हूँ और मैं तो अगर एक बायोग्राफी लिखूंगा एंड इफ आई ट्राई टू राइट दिस बायोग्राफी लाइक अ फिल्म जर्नलिस्ट इट विल बी अ फेलियर बिकॉज आई एम नॉट अ फिल्म जर्नलिस्ट यू नो so I thought कि the best thing I can do for this book is to write it as a son and show people, write about. See, people know his songs more than I know. People know more about his songs than I know. I only know him as daddy. That's it. So I felt that let me show these people who know more than me about Anand Bakshi the lyricist. मैं उनको उनका ये साइड दिखाऊंगा जो वो नहीं जानते. How was he as a father? How was he as a dad, as a nana? How was he as a brother? How was he as a son? How was he as a friend? How was he? What did he think about fitness? What did he think about saving money? What did he think about when I got divorced? What did he think about us children? You know, I asked my dad, हम तो चार हैं, we are four of us, but you treated all four differently. Why did you discriminate against us? He said, ये क्या word है discriminate? मैं तो पहली बार सुन रहा हूँ भाई. What do you mean discriminate? Why will a father discriminate amongst his children? Of course he knew the meaning. But ये क्या अजीब भाषा है ये तुम्हारी. तुम ज़्यादा लगता है ज़्यादा पढ़ लिख गए हो तुम लोग. I said, no, I want to know why there is a difference. You allowed some things to me, but you didn't allow to my sister. You allowed some things to my brother, but you didn't allow me. You allowed some things to me, you didn't allow my brother. He saying, बेटा याद रखो, आदमी ना माँ की पेट से बाप बन के नहीं निकलता. हर एक बच्चे ने मुझे सिखाया बाप क्या होता है. Every one of you taught me how to be a father. Every one of you taught me how not to be a father. तो मैंने जो पहली बड़ी वाली से सीखा, जो पप्पी से सीखा, वो मैंने गोगी पे इस्तेमाल किया. जो मैंने गोगी से सीखा वो मैंने तुम पे डब्बू पे इस्तेमाल किया. जो मैंने तुम तीनों से सीखा वो मैंने रानी पे इस्तेमाल किया. क्योंकि मैं सीखता गया. मैं तो बाप बनता गया भाई. मैं थोड़ी बाप बन के माँ के पेट से निकला था. I was not born a father. You made me a father. So as the mistakes I made with you, I made sure I didn't repeat them with you, the younger one. So this is a very big lesson for people that it's okay if you're a mom and you're making mistakes and you're frustrated and angry because you're learning. Like the child is learning to grow up, you're also learning to be a mother. Because I have friends who tell me, "Am I a good mother? I said this today. Rakesh, am I a good mother? I said I did this today. Today I'm feeling angry. Today I'm feeling I wanted to hit him. I want to slap my son." I said, "It's normal. My father wanted to slap me hundred of times." So these conversations are very important. What you're having, because who knows where we might, you know, help someone sit and pause and think and ponder. हम आज भी गलती करते हैं यार.
yeah, and basically, through that 19 years of journey of that book, you said मतलब 19 साल 18-19 साल आपको लगे उस किताब को लाने में. You also learned about his childhood, उनका
Yeah,
जो
because I started meeting people, I
जो
started meeting relatives, friends, and asking them stuff.
yeah.
And you talk to the children's books, because I'm single and I don't have children. पता है जो चीज रह जाती ना वो सबसे प्यारी हो जाती है. You may have 100
जी
goals, but the goals that you were not able to achieve, no, you will always think very fondly about them. Yeah. So the fact that I don't have children, that makes me love children. I have been a child lover since. I mean, even I remember even when I was a teenager, no, सारे building के बच्चे, you know, uh, if they want to have fun, they want to play games, they want to do something fun, it was डब्बू डब्बू के घर चलो, डब्बू को लेके चलो क्रिकेट के लिए, डब्बू को लेके चलो फुटबॉल के लिए, डब्बू को लेके चलो साइकिलिंग के लिए, डब्बू को लेके चलो स्केटिंग के लिए, डब्बू को लेके चलो फिल्मों के लिए. हम लोग आई शुड टेक ऑल द किड्स फॉर द फिल्म्स, आई शुड टेक देम फॉर आइसक्रीम. My nephew nieces cousins, their cousins also I have taken for ice cream. I was the only person, I think very proudly, you should take all the kids for ice cream. I should not differentiate कि ये मेरे nephew nieces हैं, ये उनके cousins हैं. I should take everybody. So I realized in retrospect that I was always a children's person. So last 3-4
and
years
you
back
kept
after COVID,
yourself मतलब आपने अपने आप को फिजिकली भी उतना फिट रखा है कि यू कैन गो स्केटिंग विद देम, यू कैन गो स्विमिंग विद देम, यू कैन गो बाइकिंग विद देम. और बच्चों को वो चीज़ें मेरे ख्याल से
yeah,
अगर आप
they want to
फिजिकली
be
उनके
they
साथ
want to
काफ़ी
be,
एक्टिव हैं.
children love it when you treat them as an equal. Children don't
या
like it when you treat them like a child.
या
They hate it.
नो आई एम विद
They
यू
want to be given
100%.
respect like an adult. So I wrote the
100%.
children book because I felt कि यार मैं तो किसी को कुछ सीख नहीं दे सका अपने बच्चों को, because मेरे तो बच्चे ही नहीं है. So why not I write stories with little morals, little values and morals, and Hindustani morals and values. Like for example, I'm not Hindustani morals and values, but Hindustani culture. जैसे कि मेरे in my character is wearing a mauli, my character is wearing a bindi, my character is wearing a Mangalsutra. There's a Ganeshji on the wall. Because when I read children's books which are from Western, there was no identification. I could not identify with any of these books. I
जी
could not see anything Indian, Bharatiya in these books. So our books have got these motifs. There'll be a Ganeshji on the wall. There'll be a swastika somewhere. There will be a toran on the door. There will be a
वेरी
mauli on the
नाइस.
hand. There will be a salwar kameez she'll be wearing. You know, though the stories are today's, but the culture is Bharatiya. Because I wanted that books to come across as Bharatiya without saying it. So I added
वेरी
these
नाइस.
elements to it. We, the designer, me, my co-author, we did all these things. कि इसको भारतीय बनाते हैं यार. Because it's about time we speak about our Sanatan Dharam and Bharat with pride, and we tell the world about the deep philosophies that are there in the Upanishads.
जी जी नहीं वो मैंने यहाँ पे मतलब मैं 16-17 साल से यहाँ पे हूँ. एंड माय बोथ किड्स आर स्कूल गोइंग किड्स. एक एलिमेंट्री में है, एक हाई स्कूल में है. और दोनों को मतलब वहाँ पे और भी दूसरे कल्चर के बच्चे आते हैं, इंडियंस बच्चे आते हैं, सब आते हैं. लेकिन मैंने देखा यहाँ पे एक चीज़, आई माइट बी रॉन्ग, बट मेरा पर्सनल जो ऑब्जर्वेशन रहा है वो ये रहा है, यहाँ पे जो बच्चे दूसरे जो नॉन वाइट किड्स जो दूसरी जगहों से आए हैं, दे आर मोर रूटेड टू देयर कल्चर देन व्हेन वी गो बैक होम. एंड वहाँ पे जो मैं बड़े शहरों में मैं देखता हूँ, आई एम हो सकता है कि मैं गलत हूँ, लेकिन वहाँ पे मैं देख रहा हूँ वहाँ उतने रूटेड नहीं है बच्चे जितने रूटेड यहाँ पे हैं. दे आर स्पोर्ट्स enthusiasts, they're learning their cultures, they go to these classes,
Very good,
they're doing
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of it
So
that in the West, the children are really learning the culture, sticking to the
yeah,
culture.
yeah,
And not only
absolutely.
Indians, I'm telling you, all native religions, no, are
Yeah,
doing it. They're returning to the
they are
native.
doing
Look
it.
at Russia. Russia and China Russia is going back to Orthodox, is making sure the Orthodox Christian are not forgotten. China is making
Yeah.
sure Buddhism is not forgotten. All native cultures are going back to their roots, not just Indians. It is happening in China and Russia also.
So let's move on, आगे बढ़ते हैं. और चूंकि हम लोग अपने शो के एंड की तरफ आ रहे हैं, तो दो चीज़ें मैं पहले पूछना चाहूँगा आपसे। पहला ये कि आपकी जो आने वाली बुक है, अगली बुक जो मेरे ख्याल से अप्रैल में आ रही है, उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा कुछ बताएं। और उसके बाद मैं एक सवाल मेरा बहुत ही पर्सनल है, और पर्सनल भी है वो, थोड़ा सा टीचिंग भी है, मैं पूछता हूँ। आप पहले एक बुक के बारे में बताएं।
So the book which is being published now is a book on Anand Bakshi's unpublished poems and lyrics. जो चीज़ें नई फिल्म में नहीं आ सकी, जो पब्लिश नहीं हो सकी, because you can't stop writing ना, as a writer you will keep writing. जरूरी थोड़ी कि आप सिर्फ एक कहानी आएगी तो लिखोगे, फिल्म आएगी तो लिखोगे, आपका दिमाग तो चल ही रहा है, you know. I mean, you are not constantly interviewing people, but you thought the questions keep coming arising, and you must be making notes. Somewhere you must be making some notes, no? कि यार ये कभी काम आएगा ये thought, किसी को तो पूछूंगा मैं. So in the same way, a poet also, a lyricist also will keep writing कि पता नहीं कहाँ लग जाए, कहाँ काम आ जाए, क्योंकि क्या एक बार thought गुम जाता है ना, फिर वापस नहीं आता. तो इसलिए he used to write down to all that collection. About there are more than 500 poems, but we are able to publish just about 150, 200, not more, because it's a limited book. So that is going to come out in and it's titled मैं जादू हूँ चल जाऊंगा. I'm magic, I'll work.
सवाल जो मैंने बोला था कि मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूँ, बड़ा पर्सनल है, और वो थोड़ा सा, क्योंकि ये लिटरेरी पॉडकास्ट है एंड यू आर ऑथर्ड सो मेनी बुक्स। आप ये बताइए आपका प्रोसेस क्या है। एंड प्रोसेस मैं पूछ रहा हूँ जो प्रोक्रेस्टिनेटर्स, जो टालू शर्मा, मैं उनको टालू बोलता हूँ, टालू शर्मा जो टालते रहते हैं, मेरे जैसे बहुत सारे टालू शर्माज हैं, उनके बारे में आप क्या बोलना चाहेंगे? उनका ये जो पूरा प्रोसेस है, हाउ कैन समवन not be a Talu Sharma?
So Talu Sharma happens when the thought which comes to you is not rich enough to nurture itself. In the sense that when I get an idea to write a book or to write a poem, when I start writing something, I just keep writing. I just keep writing, and then maybe the thought changes. I go to another thought. I open another document. I write there, and maybe like these, there are 6, 7, 10 documents that are open in my mind. Sometimes they open on books, in diaries. Sometimes they open in a computer, right? But I keep going back to some of them, and I continue writing them. And soon, after a few weeks or months, I'll realize that out of these 6, 7 thoughts that are open, there are these one or two only which are continuing. Or they start growing. And those 6, 7 other 5, 6 somehow pause लग जाता है उन पे. मैं उनको I don't delete them. I pause it. But I'm not able to go back only to them. These 1, 2 thoughts are something which I just keep going back to. Whether I'm cycling, whether I'm skating, whether I'm sitting watching something, I again go back to the thought. I continue it. So I feel that whatever I've been able to continue has become something. So it's not that you're a Paltu Sharma and thing. It's just that what thought is not. It's like you plant a seed. It's not going to grow unless it's going to receive. It's going to be nurtured with air and water. So that air and water comes from you going back to that thought and again giving it air and water. Going back to that seed, giving it air and water. And the plant is not going to grow. It's going to die. Similarly, that thought, when it keeps continuing, that thought only pulls you back. That page only will pull you back. You don't have to go to it. It'll pull you back. यार वापस आप bro, just continue this. This is, so वो जो continue हो जाता है ना, वो साला कुछ बन जाता है. So whether it's in your mind, whether it's in a diary, or whether it's in a computer, what is it that you keep going back to? It's like a friendship. Tell me the friendship that have evolved over the years.
जी.
They are the only friendship which you went back to. You wanted to meet that person again. I asked one director one day that how do you know which cinematographer to work with? After you have seen their films and you have decided, but what makes you decide? What is that main thing? Okay, you have liked the films he or she has made. Now, what makes you decide कि यार इसी के मुझे इसके साथ काम करना है? She said it's very simple. How? It's so difficult to make a choice. He said no. I just have one cup of coffee with that person. I said then I didn't think to myself, no. Listen to the next line. Then I think to myself, do I want to have one more coffee with him or not? If I don't want to have one more
Ah,
coffee with this person, how am I going to work with him for 1 year? So when my niece, she was getting married, she was going to see a boy, and she said, Dabu Mama, I'm very stressed here. I have to, I have to go and see this boy. My parents have wanted me to, they want me to meet this boy for marriage, and I'm very stressed. I don't know what to say, what to do, and how to think about it. I said, listen to me. Just meet him for one cup of coffee, and after that one cup of coffee is got over, ask yourself, do you want to have one more cup of coffee with this person or not? That's all she did. She married to him today because after she had that one cup of coffee with him in a mall, she, when he asked her that can we meet again, she said yes, I want to meet you again. So it's same for the thoughts. Is that thought something you want to go back to? That will continue, and again you want to have one more cup of coffee, third cup of coffee, वो किताब बन जाएगी.
किताब में it will happen. It will happen.
It's so
Wonderful.
simple that do
Wonderful.
you feel like going back to this person or not? And it's even for friendships, for relatives also, no? Some relatives we are close to because we want to go back again to that home. Or we want to call
जी.
that person again back into our home. वो ही आगे बढ़ता है. बाकी रह जाते हैं पीछे.
तो बिफोर वी रैप अप राकेश जी, एक जो चीज़ मेरे जहन में सबसे ज़्यादा आपकी पूरा आपकी एक पर्सनालिटी है, आपका एक इतिहास है, आपकी एक फैमिली लेगेसी है, आपका एक एक पर्सनालिटी है, लेकिन जो सबसे ज़्यादा मुझे टच किया इस पूरे किस्से में, इस पूरी जर्नी में, जो मैंने थोड़ी बहुत शेयर करी आपके साथ, मैंने थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ा आपके बारे में, तो जो आपका ये जो बाइक एंजल्स का जो सोशल इनिशिएटिव है, दैट रियली टच मैंने एक दो उसके पूरे, तो इतना लंबा वो ब्लॉग है, इतने सालों से आप लिख रहे हैं, पूरा तो मैंने कुछ पढ़ने की कोशिश करी थोड़े से समय में. उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बताइए बिफोर वी रैप अप. और I was really touched, and personally I want to get associated with it on a personal level. मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, क्या मुझे करना चाहिए, लेकिन पहले तो हमारे जो सुनने वाले हैं, जो हमको देखने वाले हैं, जो हमको देख रहे हैं या सुन रहे हैं, उनको थोड़ा सा इसके बारे में बताइए, और फिर मैं पर्सनली भी मैं उससे जुड़ना चाहता हूँ कैसे भी.
So because I was a cyclist and I used to cycle every morning, almost every morning, 50 kilometers every day, every second day. So early in the morning, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 in the morning in the dark, I used to see को आपको सड़कों पे कौन देखेगा इंडिया में सुबह सुबह 5 बजे. पेपर वाला, न्यूज़पेपर वाला, दूध वाला, मिल्कमैन, न्यूज़पेपर मैन, फूल वाला, भाजी वाला, पाव वाला, all these people. And I realized that यार I am riding a cycle that is costing 1 lakh. My clothes and my helmet are costing 1 lakh. And these people are riding a bicycle costing 5,000 rupees. लेकिन ये 5,000 rupees के साइकिल से ये अपने बच्चों को भी पढ़ा रहा है स्कूल में, शादी भी करा रहा है बच्चों की, घर भी ले रहा है, सोना भी खरीदता है हर साल, धन अपना धनतेरस में सेविंग्स भी कर रहा है. मतलब एक साइकिल पे यार ये पूरी जिंदगी काट लेते हैं, तो पूरी फैमिली खड़ा कर देते हैं, उनके बच्चों की भी शादी हो जाती है, बच्चों के भी बच्चे हो जाते हैं. ये तो यार मैजिक है, बिल्कुल मैजिक है ये तो, कि एक साइकिल पे ये आदमी पूरी अपनी खानदान खड़ा कर देता है वो. So I realized that I can why not we donate cycles to these people. So then I started buying new cycles, taking back their old cycle, giving them a new cycle so that they can continue the journey forward. And उनकी जो पुरानी साइकिल थी हम उनको जंक नहीं करते थे, जैसे वेस्ट में जंक कर देते हैं ना, उसको फेंक देते हैं गटर में, बेच देते हैं उसको. आई यूज्ड टू रिफर्बिश दैट एंड गिव इट टू समबडी एल्स. उसको नया ताज़ा बना के पेंट मार के, पॉलिश मार के, ग्रीस भी नया पार्ट्स डाल के उसको नया क्यों आधे खर्चे में नई साइकिल बन जाती है वो. तो वाई वेस्टेड, उसको क्यों वेस्ट किया जाए, क्योंकि वो तो वैसे भी किसी के काम आ ही रही थी ना, किसी का घर चला ही रही थी, किसी के सपने पूरे कर ही रही थे. So I started doing that. Take the old cycle, refurbish it, make it new, and new cycle give to that person. So when I started doing that, I realized that I should also blog the stories कि ये कौन है ये इंसान. क्योंकि हम सोचते हैं कि सिर्फ महात्मा गांधी के पास ज्ञान है देने के लिए, सिर्फ आनंद बख्शी के पास ज्ञान है देने के लिए, सिर्फ साहिर साहब के पास ज्ञान है. नहीं भैया, ये जो आदमी पाव बेच रहा है ना, इसके पास भी ज्ञान है देने के लिए. आप इसकी कहानी सुनो, कहानी पढ़ो, आपको पता चलेगा कैसे ये हाउ दे स्ट्रगल, इनकी फिलोसफीज क्या हैं, बच्चों के बारे में इनकी फिलोसफीज क्या है, फैमिली के बारे में, देश के बारे में. So it's not that you have to be a star, a legend to give gyan. Even a person on the road has got enough to inspire you, can inspire you, because they are no different from you. The only difference is your bank balance. That's it. There's no other difference.
जी, वंडरफुल. मुझे तो बहुत मज़ा आया इस डिस्कशन में एंड आई एम रियली एक्साइटेड. आई कांट इवन वेट कि जैसे ये ख़त्म हो और मैं बिल्कुल एडिटिंग में लग जाऊं, उसको जितनी जल्दी हो सके मैं ले आऊं. एक मेरा बहुत ही पर्सनल जो मैंने सोच के रखा था कि ये सवाल मैं आपसे पूछूंगा, ठीक है. ये बताइए, आपके हिसाब से कभी आपने पता नहीं वो पूछा होगा या नहीं पूछा होगा अपने डैडी से कि उनका फेवरेट लिरिसिस्ट कंटेम्प्रेरी में कौन था, किसको वो पसंद करते थे, वो किसके गाने सुनते थे?
उन्होंने गाने सुनने बंद कर दिए थे. His favorite when he was growing up was D.N. Madhok. Then his favorites were Sahir and Shailendra.
शैलेंद्र.
For Anand Bakshi, it was very simple. He said, if my words, whatever I write, must match the characterization of the character, it should sound like it is coming from his and her mouth and her life. Otherwise, I have failed as a lyricist. Because if your words are going to be, see, if your character is from a urban background, how can the character sing Urdu songs and do heavy poetry and talk literature when it's मेरे ख्वाबों में जो आए, आके मुझसे छेड़ जाए, उससे कहो सामने तो आए. आई मीन, ये अर्बन लड़की है, वो लव में पड़ गई है. फ्रॉम हाउ शी गोइंग टू डू लिटरेचर, पोएट्री, सिंग? सो यू हैव टू सी अ लिरिसिस्ट विद अ कॉमेंट. फॉर हिम इट वाज दैट नहीं, आई माय वर्ड्स हैव टू साउंड, इट शुड लगना चाहिए कि ये कैरेक्टर गा रही है. अदरवाइज आई फेल्ड एज अ लिरिसिस्ट. सो आई एम नॉट अ पोएट, आई एम अ लिरिसिस्ट. आई एम डूइंग जस्टिस टू द कैरेक्टर.
बिल्कुल. वो मैं क्या बोल रहा था कि जैसे मैं साहिर साहब को सुनता हूँ, साहिर साहब इज ऑलवेज अ पोएट फॉर मी. इवन ही इज राइटिंग फॉर मूवी सॉन्ग इज पोएट. सिमिलरली अब वो क्या होता है, जब मैं आनंद बख्शी साहब को सुनता हूँ, उनके गाने सुनता हूँ, भले ही उन्होंने एज ए लिरिसिस्ट लिखा, लेकिन वो गाने जब मैं देखता हूँ, मतलब एक होता है आपको गाना सुनना, एक होता है आपको गाना लिरिक्स देख के उसको पढ़ना. जब आप उसको पढ़ते हैं, वो गाना सुनता हूँ, वो गाना है मेरे लिए. जब मैं उसको देखता हूँ, जब मैं उसको पढ़ता हूँ, वो मेरे लिए पोएट्री है. तो मैं उनको कभी भी ऐसे देखता ही नहीं हूँ कि ही इज अ लिरिसिस्ट ओनली एंड ही इज नॉट अ पोएट. व्हेन आई सी इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी, व्हेन आई एम रीडिंग इट, इट्स अ पोएट्री फॉर मी. एंड वो बहुत ही कम, पता नहीं मैं उस चीज को समझा पा रहा हूँ या नहीं समझा पा रहा हूँ, लेकिन
No, I understand what you're saying.
ये
But
ये सबको
this bifurcation is done by the people who read it. But as a lyricist, he was just writing.
Yeah.
I am just writing for
Yeah.
the story. खत्म. उसमें पोइट्री है नहीं है मुझे नहीं पता, तो वो तुम लोग बताओ, मैं तो अपना काम कर रहा हूँ भैया.
जी, बहुत बढ़िया. बहुत मजा आया राकेश साहब आपसे बात करके, और
Thank you very
आई एम
much.
सो एक्साइटेड एंड थैंक यू अगेन. इससे अच्छा और कुछ हो नहीं सकता था शायद. एंड आई होप कि आई डिड द जस्टिस ऑफ योर टाइम. सुबह सुबह आपको 6:30 बजे उठा के, आप तो खैर उठ जाते हैं जल्दी लेकिन
No, it's okay. I think
होपफुली इट
everybody
वाज
job and
मीनिंगफुल.
it was very
जी.
meaningful
अच्छा,
even
एक
for
बार
me.
एक बार आप अपने सिबलिंग्स का नाम ले लीजिए.
My siblings are my eldest sister is Papi Suman Dutt, Gogi Rajesh Bakshi, me, and then my sister Rani that's Kavita Bali.
बहुत बढ़िया. तो आप सभी पप्पी दीदी, राजेश भाई साहब और रानी दीदी, आप लोग, यू गाइज आर ऑसम. कभी मौका लगा तो हम आपसे भी बात करेंगे आपके डैडी के बारे में, और ये पॉडकास्ट आप लोग ज़रूर देखिएगा. इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी अमेजिंग एंड आई डेफिनेटली वांट फीडबैक फ्रॉम यू थ्री. आप लोगों से मुझे फीडबैक ज़रूर चाहिए.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
चलिए,
Manish. All the best. And
थैंक
thank
यू
you
सो
to all the
मच.
people, audience who's going to be watching us. कि आपने that you have removed your very 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 precious time. क्योंकि हम पैसे काफ़ी लोगों को देते हैं, लेकिन वक्त बहुत कम लोगों को देते हैं. तो आपने अपना वक्त निकाल के हमें देखा, शुक्रिया. थैंक यू.